Welcome to the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies North American Trapper Education course. In today's video, we're going to demonstrate open water and under ice beaver sets. We encourage you to select devices that meet BMP standards. Always check state and local trapping regulations before setting any trap. Cable restraints are a very humane tool to capture animals, but may not be allowed in your area. The regulations may differ whether trapping in open water or under the ice. Read your regulations carefully and consult with a local conservation officer if you have any questions. In this video, we're going to demonstrate setting a cable device underwater and under the ice for beaver. This is a lethal system, using a cable device to restrain beaver underwater, preventing them from returning to the surface. Remember, if trapping under the ice, it is important that adequate freezing temperatures exist so that the working holes cut in the ice refreeze as soon as possible. Cable devices can be used as a blind set in a known run or channel, or as a baited set near a lodge or bank den. Our scouting trips and knowledge of our target species will tell us where active travel patterns exist. Beaver runs should be explored, and if you have clear ice, you can look for bubble trails to locate these runs, and baited sets are placed adjacent to food cache. Channels exist in relatively shallow water locations where beaver may be traveling into wooded areas for food. And trails exist where beaver exit or enter the water. Once we have identified a channel, we need to look for certain aspects of that channel which will help define a set location. You could look for a straight travel corridor. Avoid any curves or turns, as this might put the animal in a position not optimal for a good catch. You could also look for a narrowing in the travel way. Look for locations about 10 to 12 inches wide that'll accommodate your trap. We need a support system to suspend the loop of the cable in the channel. Choose a length of solid dead wood that measures an inch or two in diameter, that is long enough to be stuck into the bottom of the mud and extend above the surface of the water. This will serve as your support stick. Push the stick into the mud alongside the channel and estimate the placement of the support wire. Bring the stick back out of the water and fasten your 9-gauge support wire to the stick above the mud line. Our anchoring system must be durable enough to withstand the pressure of the largest critter you might catch. Our breakaway device will not fail when needed if the cable restraint is not properly anchored. Most anchoring systems in open water will use re-rod stakes, earth anchors, or might be attached to a large rooted tree. If you anchor to a green tree, wire the cable around the tree below the surface of the water. Restrained beaver will chew on almost anything within reach and may chew off our anchor if it isn't fastened below the water. We must think past the catch. Have a catch pole or other safety device and cable cutters nearby to release any non-target animal. And when successful, plan for the appropriate disposition of a target catch. We refer to the area in which our target animal is restrained as a catch circle. That is the circle of disturbed area created by a restrained animal as it pulls away from the anchor. If our cable restraint is 5 foot long, we can expect the diameter of the catch circle to be around 10 foot in diameter. When choosing a set location, imagine your catch circle. The catch circle must be free of dangers that may harm a restrained animal. Beavers are most often held by the body. Loop size for beaver is 9 to 10 inches, and the bottom of the loop should be about 2 inches from the bottom of the stream. When used in a channel, suspend the loop so just 2 to 3 inches of the loop is above the water, with the rest below. When used at a trail that exits or enters the water, choose a spot where the diameter of the loop is about halfway in, halfway out. Beaver can be encouraged to use a particular trail by creating a caster mound or a food lure and bait location near the water's edge. When creating the properly sized loop, bend the lock back against the support collar and bend the support wire so that the lock is either in the 11 or 1 o'clock position as you look at the loop. This makes sure the lock travels slightly uphill before it goes downhill to close the loop. This position prevents false closings due to water action or from a passing animal, while having no negative effect when closing on your target beaver. For under ice baited beaver sets, we have a live pole set and a dead pole set. For a live pole set, select a green aspen or poplar tree, 3 or 4 inches in diameter and long enough to be pushed into the bottom of the stream and extend above the ice. Select another wood stick to be your cross stick above the ice. Open a working hole through the ice. Push the green pole into the bottom of the stream as firmly as you can and raise the pole out of the water and note the mud line on the bottom of the pole. This is your working area. Beaver will swim around the bait pole near the top and the bottom to try to chew it off and get it into the den. We will place 2 cable devices at the bottom and 2 near the top on opposite sides of the pole. This will take advantage of the beaver's necessity to swim around the pole at those 2 locations. For the bottom support system, use a 20-inch piece of 9-gauge wire and fasten it approximately 14 inches above the mud line. Wrap the wire and tighten around the pole so there are wire ends going in opposite directions from the pole. Do the same approximately 12 inches below the waterline mark. Attach 4 cable devices to the pole by the support collars. Cable device loops for under ice beaver are usually about 12 inches in diameter. Fashion all 4 loops so the edges of each loop is almost touching the pole. We need to anchor the cable device at the top. If the cable device is not long enough, attach wire so that all may be anchored above the ice line. Slowly lower the bait pole through the hole in the ice and firmly push it into the bottom. Secure the pole to the cross stick above the ice with wire. For the dead pole, much is like the live pole set, with a few minor differences. Select a dead pole with the same measurements as the live pole and a cross stick for use above the ice. Gather 2 handfuls of about finger-sized small branches and twigs from green aspen or poplar trees. Break the branches and assemble the bundle so it is around a foot long and wire them together to create the bundle. Push the dead pole into the bottom and pull it back out and make note of where the mud line and water line are. This is your work area. Fasten your bait bundle with the sticks being vertical and parallel to the pole in the upper 3rd portion of the work area with wire. Fashion and attach the support wire for 2 cable devices that will be suspended on each side of the bait bundle. Attach 2 cable devices to the pole by the support collars. Fashion the loops so that one side of each is almost touching the bait bundle. Extend the end of the cable device up the pole and anchor at the top of the pole above the ice line. Slowly lower the baited pole through the hole and firmly push it into the bottom. Secure the pole to the cross stick above the ice with wire. Remember to always use caution when reopening the ice holes to check the cable devices. Ice tools may damage a captured beaver suspended in the water just below the surface of the ice. It's a good idea to flag all of your set locations and record them in your trapping journal. That's it for this video. We hope you learned a thing or 2 about trapping beaver in cable devices in the open water and under the ice. We encourage you to check out all of the videos in the North American Trapper Education video series.